you why I'm not the devil in disguise when you can see the evil in my eyes. I got nothing to hide except this body unidentified, but I'ma take a closer look inside. Autopsy reveals that I do not feel this way inside. Thought I had it under control, but that was nothing but lies. And now I'm terrified, peeking through the blinds. But much to my surprise, I'm stone cold fine. Everyone thinking I'm lying. I'm telling you people I'm fine. I'm licking the butt up and telling me shut up, and everyone's horrified. Now they're all in a state of mind that no one can really describe. All I can taste are butterflies and knives. You forced my hand when you left me with no other choice. You spoke the words, but I didn't recognize your voice. I wish you would understand this isn't the way I intended to be. Baby, you brought out the villain in me. I think you're beautiful, I think you're wonderful, but I'm a little too cynical. Yeah, you're out of my league, you're better than me, but that's not too hard to see. Now don't ignore the cipher while I turn it to a melody, a deadly symphony of all your nightmares and dying dreams. I just want you to see the protected in me. Gotta be hard to believe I'm not a disease, we're just a dying breed. Must be hard to see with all the shadows that follow me. Crystal clear intentions are acknowledged entirely. I loved you from a distance cause I know you would never speak to me. You weaved it all so carefully and right there in front of me. Your essence is perfect, an image I can't contain. I'm in love with the pain, that's insane, put me away. You forced my hand when you left me with no other choice. You spoke the words but I didn't recognize your voice. I wish you would understand this isn't the way I intended to be. Baby, you brought out the villain in me. The villain in me. The villain in me. The villain in me. Oh baby, you brought out the villain. The villain in me. The villain in me. The villain in me. Oh baby, you brought out the villain.
I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars make me dream. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, it's Rain and Sage from the Soul Snatchers, and today we have a very special guest. With us is Mad Clock, and the song that you heard coming in was Mad Clock and his song Villain. So how are you doing, Mad Clock?
I'm good, how are you guys?
Oh, I'm good, recovering from a little procedure I had to have done, and I'll be updating everyone later about my cancer journey. But other than that, I'm doing well. We're doing good.
Good, I'm happy for you.
Thank you. So, what have you been up to since you were last on our show?
Well, I've played quite a few shows. I've developed more of the Devil's Never Cry project, a few more photo shoots. We covered Resurrection Island in West Virginia as First Angel Media. I went down with them and we did a bunch of coverage. Yeah, it's just busy.
That's awesome. How did it feel to get back on stage?
Awesome. I definitely needed it. You know, I've even heard stories of some artists out there that are just now starting to get to play this year
since COVID restrictions have lifted more, and
Yeah.
it kind of set in to make me feel even more grateful that I've been playing since I think June back on the stage. So I've been at it a couple months, and I currently have 7 shows the next month and a half, and they're in 3 different states. So I just feel very grateful that I've gotten to do all that. And there's, like I said,
Yeah.
some artists I've heard recently that are just now getting back to stage, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I lost my mind by now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty hard for having just now getting back to it or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta do what we have to do. Pretty much, you know how it goes. So, like some of your projects that you got coming up, is, these shows, tell us about them.
Okay, so I tried to book a full tour with myself as a headliner, and I took a few guys from BBE, a couple of the guys I knew affiliated through First Angel Media, and a couple of the artists that I knew, and just kind of travel together as a group and do a bunch of shows together. I had kind of tried to book it too late in the season, so I only got 3 locations for it. So this is kind of like the mini kind of practice run with everybody, see how we coordinate. We're doing very well so far, as a side note. But our next one is September 25th in Oil City. That's in the National Transit Building. And then the one after that's going to close the season out for us as a group is going to be October 23rd at Stamps Bar in Buffalo, Tonawanda area.
Right.
But outside of that, I play Lily Six tomorrow in Pittsburgh at the Subalpine. She's holding a Saturday event. I open at 7.
So another one of my questions for you was, what was it like working with Seethe and making the song Shadowville?
Oh, that was super fun. That's one of my most proud. Probably it's probably my proudest project besides like Villain or some stuff I have coming out the new album that I can't really talk about yet. So definitely been my favorite one was Shadowville, and even though like I have yet to do it live with Pat, which that will happen eventually, obviously. But
Right.
Seed is an incredible artist, Brutal Business mate, obviously, and owner of Brutal Business. But the writing process came kind of supernatural. I kind of already had everything kind of figured out and where I wanted it, and I wanted it to be a screamy thing, and I wasn't there yet vocally. I'm getting there now. But I asked him. He said yeah, and we made that, and it's way more, way more than I could have possibly hoped that it would ever turn out to be. It's an incredible song. And doing that one live is insanely fun.
Yeah, I that's one of my newer favorite songs of yours. We've played it quite a lot here on Soul Snatchers.
I really appreciate that. I've been noticing on my Spotify is getting a lot of plays in that area. So I was like, I wonder who's playing that over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it must be you guys. That's cool.
yeah, it is.
I'm really glad you enjoy it. I'm working on my speed, my technique, trying to give a little bit of a flavor to everything I already normally do. I don't want to be like Rich or Tech Nine and just be these straight, just fast bar rappers all the time. I like flavoring it in, flaking it in there. I can rap really fast, like duh, but I don't want it to be the entire song necessarily. Shadowville was kind of like my way of, all right, let's just show them what I can do, and then you know what I mean. It's not going to be that constantly. I like flavoring it in, I guess.
Right. So, how do you feel about this? The new projects that you got coming up. Do you feel good about them, or uh, like what? Can you give us a little tease about the new album
Yeah,
without giving away too much?
yeah, for sure. I've already played a couple of the songs on my recent live sets just because I want to see how they go over live. I really like them in writing. One's called Blood Money. It's off Devils Never Cry. I have yet to release it. There's just mixing and mastering. It still needs done and all these other things. My voice, I was talking to Pat about this, Seethe, actually, by a couple days ago, telling him that my voice has grown and developed so much more these last few months playing shows constantly. I've just had a natural ability to like grow vocally. I'm doing things I've wanted to do vocally that I didn't think I would be doing yet. Just the constant work that I've been doing is keeping me fresh, and just these natural changes are happening in my voice. So there are a few tracks on this that I had recorded months ago that I want to re-record with some different, more techniques and depth that I have in my voice now. So it may be a little bit longer for the release, but that's fine. The Hellfire video is actually coming out very shortly.
Oh, we can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's the single off the album. I've played that live multiple times. That was just a super fun, in your face kind of track. That one's fun to do. One that I have recorded also is the title track, "Devils Never Cry." It's a little different than what I normally do. It's a little more mellow. It's not as intense and in your face. But I've been traveling into them worlds at least once on every album so far, where it's not just straight bars or dark or attack. It's got some, not even finesse, just it has a softer, more relatable vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give new incoming artists that are trying to make it like and succeed like you're doing?
Really stay true to yourself, but you can't stop working. You can't stop developing an idea. You can't, it can't just be this thing for too long. The original Mad Clock vision has evolved so much from what it was when I started this thing, and that's because it's constant evolution of an idea. You know what I mean? And if the truer you stay to yourself, the more those ideas will come naturally. That's what's so important about being like, yeah, you can take inspiration from this person, from that, but I mean, don't try to emulate any one thing. Keep your
Right.
mind open to several genres of music. Keep your eyes open to several different kinds of performances. Because even if you're not a pop fan, watching Bruno Mars is going to inspire you because he's really freaking good at what he does. Or any other artist from across any genre. If you don't like country, just watch somebody for a minute, and you can take something from that if your eyes and your mind are open. And it can do nothing but add to the development of what you're trying to do with your own brand. That's how I feel like I've gotten so successful, is constantly applying inspirational ideas to what I'm doing. No one's doing what I'm doing, but I've taken inspiration from so many different sources and used it to make my own way of things that I feel like that's really what's kind of pushing the brand right now.
And that sounds like a great way to do it. I mean, I know a lot of your music has helped me through stuff that I've been dealing with, and it's just I have a bunch of different artists that are on my daily playlist for me to deal with my daily life because I mean, there's been a lot of stress lately, and I just find that music is my therapy. So, who do you go to to listen to when you're like trying to deal with something and it who's your like outlet for that?
Well, first off, I really appreciate you using my music as a way to heal. That's like the biggest kind of accomplishment you can have as an artist. If your fans and people are important to you, then there's no other way of seeing that your music making an impact on somebody. Like, that's, you made my day even saying that. So that's first
Oh,
off.
you're
But
welcome.
for
I
sure,
mean, you've made my day making the music that you've made. Like, because, like I said, we play it a lot.
I
you
really
know,
appreciate it. If
so
you ever get the chance, I would really Shadow that much, I would really implore you to try and come see it live. Because yeah, Pat hasn't been there yet. You might catch the one time when Pat gets to play it with me, which would be insanely cool. I'm waiting for that day.
yeah.
But that song in general has so much energy on the stage, and everyone goes nuts. It's one of my favorites to play live. So I would love for you to have that kind of connective experience with it as well.
Oh,
But yeah, back to
we
the question
do
though.
stock your page quite a bit.
Yes, I
So
really appreciate that.
that what genres or what artists help you like when you're having a tough day? That's
Definitely,
actually what
I'm
I was trying to say.
right on. Yeah, yeah. I've definitely been a metalhead more than anything in my life. I've always gravitated to heavy music. Like I tell everybody, my dad influenced me with like Bob Dylan, and I really latched onto him at a young age, probably 10, 11, 12. Just his creativity. I was writing poetry at the time, a lot, pretty heavy. So Dylan stuff, kind of his mannerisms, the way he carried words, really kind of inspired a lot of poetry and that kind of thing. So that's where I feel like the depth of my writing comes from. But on a bad day, when I literally hate the world and everyone around me, and I feel down on myself and I'm judging myself and nothing is working, it's definitely the heaviest thing I can find. It's
Right.
the heavier the better. I don't know. It's. I mean, there's hip hop that kind of like hip hop can put me in a different mind space. I just get to jam it and like nothing matters in that moment, kind of thing. But if I'm trying to process some really heavy feelings, it's got to be metal.
Right. I have those days too. It's like I listen to different things that help me, but like I said, your music has helped me so much
Really appreciate that. Thank you.
in dealing with a lot. Now, at this point in time, I'm going to ask the fans to see if they have any questions for you.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I love answering questions.
And while we do that, so where do you see yourself like a year from now?
So yeah, that's something my team and I have been discussing. Now that we're getting a lot more shows, we're becoming more serious. I have quite the team pushing me, helping me. First off, shout out to Brutal Business and First Angel Media for always having my back. Wear them for quite often. Um, we're evaluating adding to the live entertainment. You know, adding actually as a drop to you guys, you'd be the first to hear it without too much detail.
Right.
Soul Snatchers, here's it first, and I'm adding a character to the live aspect.
Awesome.
So there will be another character coming into play in the live set. Um, but I want to try and hit the festival circuit in the next springtime. I'm going to be taking a hiatus over winter. I have a personal surgery I have to go through as well. Kind of keeping it disclosed at this point in time, but the
Right.
details will come out. But anyway, I'm going to take my off season over the winter to heal from my surgery and adjust things. But then we're going to be adding a bunch of lights, getting a light system going where we can. Oh, hi, Kitty.
Yeah, that's Aries.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, like the song. That's cute. Yeah. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of downtime this winter. I'm going to be still doing like uh, live streams, you know, as a way to connect with people and all that good stuff. Push the album, but I'm going to be done touring for the winter months. But yeah, I'm going to be reevaluating the live, adding that character. We have that light system going to be going. It's going to be synchronized with the music and all that. Just upgrading the various look of everything. Andy's going to get a whole new look. My DJ, Andy Dab, shout out him. Bella's going to be doing a couple of different things. Like we're adding to the entertainment value. You know, I don't want it to be overly cheesy and like a Broadway production. I wanted to keep it as artistic and kind of like we don't choreograph anything. Me and Bella do on stage. It's all just kind of on stage in the moment. We don't really choreograph any of that other than like a couple moments where like the impacts are in the storyline for the song. We'll do like one specific thing, but the most of it is just freestyle. So it's finding that balance of let's keep this really entertaining, but let's not overdo anything.
So again, anybody have any questions for Mad Clock? He has taken time out of his day to come and visit with us and talk to us about what he's got going on.
Which I enjoy very much. It's like
I'm,
keeping the world
I'm
entertained, you know,
glad.
keeping the world informed of what I'm doing at all times. I move in silence, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Right. So another thing that I was thinking, how do you feel about some of the things that have been going on in like my community? Like people are being hurt for just being who they are. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's kind of always been my one rule. My father wasn't a very decent figure in terms of, you know, standing up for human rights. He was a bigot, kind of racist. It always sat around with me as a child. It was like, you know, why I grew up in Chicago, like I had black friends, you know, I've had gay friends, I've had all types of different people walk in and out of my life at some point.
Yeah.
I never had a problem with everyone else around me seeing it in the news and seeing other people treat people negatively because of what they are, who they are. It's always set wrong with me. You know, it's like I may not be gay, I may not, you know, that's not my thing. That's fine. But love and accept all people for who they are. Why waste all that energy hating? That makes no sense at all. So I absolutely I've always stood up for people of an alternate lifestyle of any kind, people for being who they are. I will stand by and beside and behind and in front of anybody at any given time that's not being treated properly for being who they are.
Right. That's how I feel about it too. It's just really sad.
Yeah, you know, I tend to stay away from politics and religion. You know, there's you lose friends that way, and we're just having a different
We do
ideal.
too here.
And you kind of do even talking about you know cultural aspects, you know, gay rights and all this kind of thing, or you know what's in the media about the coronavirus, like all that stuff. That's I think that shit's just there to make you argue with your neighbor. You know what I mean? It's meant to ensue a difference in communication so that you get your head wrapped around this ideal that you can believe in, that you can't accept maybe another ideal is just as okay as long as it ain't yours. Like it's not that big a deal. I don't understand why people take it so seriously. There's stand for what you believe in, but also understand there's a universal love. Like there's got to be a balance there somewhere,
We all have to respect and understand each other,
right? You know,
basically.
yeah. You know, I love my enemy, but you know, you're not gonna eat at my table. That's fine. You know, but you
Right.
don't have to like go out of your way to slash your enemy's tires, so on and so forth, etc. Drama that you know. unnecessariness. Like you can even hate somebody, it's fine, but keep it to your damn self and don't, it's you start hurting people and all that, then that's a different step. You don't have to, you know what I mean? It's not necessary.
Right. It really is.
So yeah, that's something I've always tried to keep mindful of. My children are the same way. I've raised my children very respectfully. I love my six beautiful kids, and they themselves as well have always had that kind of mindset of like that doesn't sit well with them. Why would you hate somebody for being who they are? And I think it just kind of passed that ideology along, knowing how I feel about the world, and I've always kind of acted accordingly in front of them. I've had black friends around them. I've had people of alternate race or religion or sexual orientation. I've had all walks of life around my kids, and they accept people for who they are because of that. I'm very proud of that.
Okay, Sarah says sending prayers now. William says, why not having almost like more of a get with one another if you are going on bigger stages? And are you worried about your stage presence after the story? Or
Uh,
sorry, I meant surgery.
oh, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, it's a two-part question. I can answer both of those. Um, yeah, I mean, there's to choreograph or to kind of plan around, certain things with the people on stage. I didn't want a bunch of dancers on stage, and we're still not doing that. Bella's going to be the only dancer, but I'm adding a character to the live, and I don't want to say too much more than that because I'm going to kind of give it away. But it's someone else to add to the layer of because I'm a multifaceted person as it is. I'm a multifaceted artist. There's more than one layer aspect to me, I guess, and I'm using different characters to kind of convey my story as a way. You know what I mean? But these people that are involved in the live set know me intimately as a person, so they kind of know already. He kind of likes this, his personality's like this, and they use their characters to kind of portray that on their own. And I like their interpretation of the character itself as well. Like, take for instance Bella. She plays my inner demons in a sense. She knows that I have a prior heroin addiction. She knows that I wasn't always the best person in the world. I've done bad things, and that's kind of the whole moniker around villain. And in that story that I've shared with her, she takes in her own account. Okay, well, if I was experiencing this, how if I really was his demon, how would he be? How would I react to him, and how would I try to get him to keep doing those bad things? And that's that push and pull kind of relationship we have on stage. It's really fun that she's put her own twist on that. And as far as the surgery, I am to a degree I am nervous. It's going to directly affect what I do on stage. And like I said, details kind of follow as the months go. It's nothing life threatening. I can say that for sure for anybody that's worried. Things difficult. So I'm gonna give it my all. I'm not giving up. It's not happening. It's not even an option. I'm just going to have to learn to live with this post surgery to continue on doing what I'm doing. So I'm nervous, but optimistic as possible.
And Silhouette Death says, Ghosts and Ghouls, what's up, motherfuckers? Sarah says, I agree with you.
Yo, Silhouette.
And
Yep.
William says, what do you see for the outcome of your new album when it finally drops?
That's hard to say. Definitely, there's people have heard. Okay, so people have heard Hellfire, Blood Money, and Shadowville. That's only 3 of the 12 songs on the record. And if I could really say that those 3 songs encompass the rest of the album, they do and don't. So I anticipate people to be like, okay, he's definitely grown vocally. They're going to see my progression from the last album for sure. I extremely directly attribute that to a lot of the live shows I've had. Just had a lot of practice basically because I practice at home and I perform it, so it's even more considered practice, I guess. It's just I'm
Right.
constantly working on it. It's a constant, the more hours you put in something, the more mastery level kind of as you get to it. No, not that I'm anywhere near that. But I like to think that I've gotten a
Perfect,
long
right?
right. If you are perfect, then what's the point? Like, you might as well quit. Um, I love the journey I'm on for my voice and my style and all this. So yes, I have to go back and redo a few tracks. And now I'm hearing that if I were to release it now as is, I still wouldn't be portraying what I'm capable of in a record. That's why I'm kind of like pulling back and being like, wait a minute. I've kind of taken so long doing this album now. My voice has developed more. Like, what do I really want to showcase, and what do I want to do with these songs? So they're not going to change per se, but they're going to be added to vocally in certain ways that I had no idea I could even do. one day on stage, I did this thing and started screaming and growling, and I'm like, what? I'm like looking at the microphone thinking I broke something, and no, my voice was changing and adapting and developing. So I was like, okay, that's how you do that. You know, Patrick gave me a bunch of tips. Seeth is an amazing vocalist, as you can hear. You know, he screams incredibly well.
Yeah.
He gave me a few tips, and I kind of took my own little take on it. So it's just, I really think people are going to enjoy the album. I'm just not ready to put it out yet, as I thought I was. So it's kind of upsetting to me in a way. Like I really wanted this damn thing out by October. You know, it was supposed to come out way back in April, for Lord's sake. But there's a reason for everything. So I'm kind of trusting the process.
Right. So MZMZ says, Mad Clock, Soul Snatchers, let's go.
Yeah, okay, live it up.
MZ says, do you plan to record any more acoustic where folk inspired music?
Ooh.
Like your first EP?
Yes, that's a good question. Actually, I don't know if I've publicly announced this or not, but I guess it'll be another first for you guys, people listening, because I do that. I love doing interviews and revealing brand new stuff because it's fun. So I'm gonna be doing a series of acoustic EPs, probably 6 to 8 tracks a piece, but they're gonna be a volume set because I'm focusing on developing the character of Mad Clock on the hip hop side of things. There's a lot more things I can do characteristically on stage as I kind of stand in one place with a guitar. There's not too much I can do acoustically. I just focus on the songs themselves. It's more intimate and raw. I feel like I can get more fantasy like or, just interesting with the Mad Clock hip hop stuff. So I wanted to simplify the acoustic aspect of things. Be like, hey, I want me to do something I don't have to think about very hard, but still get to enjoy and put in between all the hip hop stuff. So it's going to be called Murder Ballads. Murder Ballads Volume 1 will be the first release. After Devils Never Cry, that's the next planned release after that. Whether I release a couple of hip-hop singles in between, we'll see. But, yeah, it's going to be Murder Ballads Volume 1. Every one's going to be 6 to 8 tracks, and I'm probably going to span them an album or two in between every hip-hop album.
Sweet.
Yeah, so my goal is to eventually get to, like, Volume 10. And, if I'm still doing music the next 10 years, there's a 5-year plan I have. We'll see where that goes. But I'm already 33 years old. I'm not getting any younger. My kids are getting older. Different things in my life are requiring more attention or less. It just depends on where my life goes. But I'll always have music. I know that. But in what capacity and for what is to be determined. But I'm enjoying the ride now for sure. But, yeah, that acoustic EP is going to be a continuative discography of volumes, Murder Ballads.
William says, are you going to do a visual comic like viewing for each song? And are you sticking with the photo shoots?
Yes. So I have been developing the idea for the acoustic EPs, and I would love them to be, like I said, it's a continuating series, volume 1, 2, 3. Are they going to have a collection of a continuating story, or is each EP going to have their own story in itself? I haven't really decided yet. But for those that aren't aware, Melanie Martinez, she's a pop singer. She was on The Voice a few years ago. She has an album called K through 12. It recently released, I think, last year. She's a very mainstream pop artist, for those of you who don't know. But she had her character Crybaby. She kind of developed in her first album. Then she did this thing called K through 12. Anyway, she did a hour and a half, I think, long video that had every song of the album K through 12, all songs in the video project. It was one video project. She directed the whole thing, and it was from start to finish the entire album, and then integrated a story with the entire. She took Crybaby through school in a sense. You know what I mean? It's dark, it's weird, it's cool, it's awesome. I implore everybody in this list listening and you guys to check it out. Melanie Martinez, K through 12. It's insanely neat. She also just came out with a short EP called After School, which is probably her best work vocally. It's just like 4 or 5 songs, though. It's nothing, crazy. But anyway, with the acoustic EP, I would love to do maybe an animated, or comic style kind of video continuation film thing, because I do a lot of, real down to earth or even fantasy shock kind of thing for Mad Clock, the hip hop stuff. It'd be really cool to kind of change, maybe I don't have to be in it at all. Let's do a whole comic book thing. Let's make it totally different and interesting and make it its own thing and still have it be my brand.
Right. Williams says, I think if more albums had a visual theme to them so they could tell a story better.
Yeah,
and then
that's
like
yeah.
make the albums into their own comic books.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's definitely a different take, and I don't, not to my knowledge, if I've seen anybody do something like that. Um, that would be definitely something
It definitely
interesting to take
sounds
on.
awesome, I
It does,
think.
oh, absolutely. It's different, comic book style. Like Marvel would like open the book, and then your camera runs across all the squares and all that, and then you just kind of follow the tiles and make it organic like that. Actually flip the page and kind of do the comic book style. That sounds really cool. I mean, you could do anything with it. Where there'd be no limits because you could just draw it all. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
only so much I can do in real life. I had to do fake blood. I had to do a prosthetic. This I had, visually, and drawing it. The options be limitless.
And MZ says on YouTube, cool, I've always enjoyed your range of sounds.
I appreciate that. That's one compliment I always like hearing. For the simple fact that that tells me that the listener is also a multifaceted artist and can understand, the appreciation for more than one genre of music. I've had a lot of people be like, I love your hip hop stuff, but that I don't really get the acoustic thing. It's like, well, you haven't listened to me for the past 15 years do acoustic music, so you wouldn't understand how that integrates into what I'm doing at all. And other people be like, oh, I only like your acoustic stuff. The hip hop stuff's just not for me, and it's again, they can only appreciate so much the acoustic stuff looking at it that way because a lot of my acoustic stuff is pretty dark too.
William wants to know, did you like the creature I drew for you?
Did very much. I definitely want to use him. That love, he's like a desperado, soulless, ragling, duster, gunslinger. I love it. It's super cool.
Silhouette Death says Korn's Follow the Leader was done by Todd McFarlane. I think I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't.
Right on. I didn't know that, but I remember the cartoon for that, the drawing. That was so cool. Super dope.
Well, I would love to see somebody come up with something like that. That would
Yeah,
be awesome.
yeah. Me and Will were working on some stuff. Just getting more time over the winter to actually dedicate to getting it all laid out and me developing the story too because I don't even know where I want to take it. It's just kind of a boiling idea at this point. It's one of
Right.
those things where I'm like, that would be dope. I'm gonna bank that idea because I am going to work on that eventually. I still have to do the 3-part villain series as well. That's going to be a real live action kind of thing. That's going to take my wife, Mama Mad Clock. Shout out Mama Mad Clock, does all my merch and drives me everywhere. Um, she tells me, you only get one big project a year because mine kind of involve. I mean, you've seen the trailer for the Hellfire video. It was costumes, it was makeup, it was location, it was drive time. It's not cheap. You know what I mean? Doing this is
Right.
maddening. Me and MZNZ have talked about this a few times that it's kind of the dumbest in the world and do it and keep doing it. You know what I mean? But it's
Right.
it's you just can't help it. But anyway, yeah, I get one major project a year according to my mad clock because they're always expensive and over the top and involved and I'm extra. So
Right.
um,
Well,
next year
do
we'll
it
have to
right
see
or
what
not
comes
do it
up.
at all, But
Oh yeah, yeah, you can't.
Silhouette Death says, yeah, the creator of Spawn.
Oh yeah, it is. Yes, that's right. Same guy. I had no idea. That's crazy. Hmm. Learn something
And
new every day.
William says, make deep and dark and puke all your raw bad feelings out into the first album.
Yeah, Murder Ballads are it's supposed to be a violent series. I want it to be very different. It's gonna have passion in it, but it's gonna carry that dark thematic string that I always pull along behind me. I like that I've been integrating more guitar into my hip hop as well, just keeping
Right.
it interesting. I've got a new program I've been messing with. I've been messing with Ableton 11, the suite I got, and its capabilities on it are endless. So it's kind of like opened a whole new world of, ooh, what else can I do now? There's using a little bit of glitch techno and some of my guitar and some of this, and I'm like, this is getting out of hand, man. Like, what am I really doing here? But if it's gonna go that direction, I have to organically just let it go. I'm not gonna hold no punches. If that's what I'm feeling in the moment, that's what I do because that's what I've always done.
Yeah. William says, the second show the light and beauty that you have seen from out of the darkness. I think you should have villain as well. If I read that right. That's how. Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah, the villain I'm gonna do in a live action 3-part series. For those that don't know, that was the other thing I was gonna mention about Devils Never Cry, the new album.
Oh, and violin.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely,
Sorry.
absolutely, very
My
somber.
apologies. I was trying to making sure
Totally
I read it right.
fine. It's all good. Yeah, but the Villain 2 is going to be on the new album. For those of you that don't know, it's on the new album, so that'll be really cool. Because the Villain 1 was done 3 years ago, so I'm kind of like slacking on getting it out there, but it fit the theme of the album, and I didn't want to wait any longer as it was. So after this, Villain 3 is going to come out as a single. It's not going to go on an album, just so I can kind of wrap up the series, and then I can start filming.
Silhouette Death says Ableton is badass, especially when you have a controller.
Oh yeah, that's what I got here. Is I got an Akai MPK Mini. I got the white and the black, little the mini keyboard. I do want to get another MIDI keyboard eventually. I just don't know where I haven't decided on a model yet. I like this mini. I mean, yeah, it's I got to press octave up and down to kind of get the full scale, 60 plus scale keyboard, but it has a cool amount of capabilities that I can use straight from Ableton and plug in all these different plugins. And it's a ton of fun. I'm still having fun with it in that stage, where like you just have fun with something for so long and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be serious now. And actually, it's so much to explore. There's over 3,000 plugins and presets that just come standard on the thing. So I'm just like constantly, wow, that one's cool, that one's cool, that one's cool. It's like, all right, well, you didn't work at all for the last 2 hours because you've been having fun.
Right. But you got to have fun though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It can't be work all the time.
And William says also, I think fan art thing should go on for the album about to drop, and maybe find your artist that way for the next.
No, the Devils Never Cry album artwork has already been completed. I have the cover, back cover. I have the inside booklet. It's all the pictures I've been doing with like Bella and Miss Red over the past several months. It's a culminative project. I've been working on it for over a year. So all that's determined, decided, figured out. I got a picture of the Babes of Brutal Business on the back cover with me. The front's going to be just me and Bella, and the inside's going to be mostly me and Miss Red, but some of Bella as well. And it tells the story. Like you guys, when you watch the Hellfire video when it comes out, and then you get the hard copy of the album, you're going to see the still frame shots from the music video as a storyboard in the album booklet. And you'd be like, oh, wow, it tells the whole story in the booklet, too. It's kind of I kind of went all out with it.
William says that's amazing, the story.
It's pretty dope. I'm excited.
What he wants to know, what is your favorite scene?
All right. Of the video, let me see. I love the inside of the church. There's like the bulk, the meat and potatoes of the video is in that church that we used. But my favorite, most intimate scene has to be the graveyard scene.
Yeah.
Scene where Bella Lee to mausoleum, and Miss Red is sitting in front of it with a table, and I play poker for my soul. Like that's the only detail I've ever released about the video that you haven't seen, just behind the scenes of people standing around doing whatever. There hasn't been any actual action scenes released. It's really cool you guys get to hear that. So the one part of the video, like I said, I play poker for my soul. Bella leads me by my hand. She kind of disappears behind me. There's a camera trick. And then I turn back around, and then Miss Red is sitting in the throne in front of the poker table, and she kind of, pulls me over and says, we're gonna do this thing. Let's play for your soul. So I got really interesting props bought specifically for that. That one cost me a bit of time, but I once I had the idea in my head, I couldn't let it go. It was like, if I'm gonna do this, I have to do it the right way. So I got the poker table I wanted. I got the deck of cards that I wanted because they weren't just like some regular old bicycle deck cards. You'll get the point when you see the video. The chips were special. Everything there was props on the table. I got an inkwell and pen from Jonna that we used for the scene as well. It's so like, guys, you have no idea how detailed this freaking video was. That's why it took me an entire year to get it done. The scenes were kind of shot in not too long of a period. There's not a ton of footage. But to get the story right and to do it the way I did is like, I can't believe it's done. It was so much work. I'm happy it's over with.
So William says you went all out.
Oh yeah, balls of the wall, way out. There was no holding back on that. And there was a few conversations I had with like Mama Mad Clock. She's like, "You're really gonna?" And I said, "Yeah." She's like, All right, let's do it then. Like she backs me 100%. That's great. And there's some times where I'm just like, I'm sorry, we have to do this thing now. Because I get my brain on something. She keeps me off Amazon a lot. She's like, you don't need to be looking at anything. Like, stop it. I see stuff I'm like, oh, I can use that for the video. I can use that for this. She said, stop it. Give me the phone. Like, hey, my ideas, my imagination kind of runs for me, and I got 600 items in my cart, and I'm just like, what am I doing? This is bad.
But as long as you're happy with the end result, that's what matters, right?
Right.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, it's go big or go home most of the
Right.
time, basically.
Yeah. I have to be that way, or I'm not going to get the product I want, and I'm going to feel bad and like I wasted my time doing it in a sense,
Right. So, what else would you like to tell the fans today?
I hope everyone makes it out to Subalpine in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania tomorrow. Everybody in the Pittsburgh area, all my homies, anybody else in that area want to come out to Subalpine. I open up at 7 o'clock. I have a 45-minute set, which is ungodly long for a hip-hop artist of what I do. So I'm going to be dead by the end of it, but I'm going to have a great time. I love performing. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. Let me actually break out my calendar because I'm terrible at remembering all these dates because there's just a ton of them. Like I said, I'm pretty grateful I've gotten as many as I have because I have some artists out there have been looking for shows and they just can't get them. All right, so last week was the rap battle at the Vortex. I won 3rd place at the Hunger Games competition. So that was a good time. That actually, that footage is on my page if you want to go look at that. This Saturday on the show at the Subalpine, it's a Lily 6 event. Shout out Lily 6 and Rock Rage Radio for putting me on that. I open at 7, and then September 25th, the Saturday after that, I'm going to be in Oil City at the National Transit Building. That is part of the Hellfire Tour. That's going to have me, Matt Morton, Heart Attack Kid, East Coast Crazies, Demo Demon, and Purple Child all performing. Oh, and Leah Marie all performing. Probably about 25-minute, half-hour sets. We're going to have a good time. So everybody come out to that. October 6th, I'm at the Craft House, and I open up for Twisted Baby. Wait for that. I'm excited. Opening for the one and only Twisted. I just found out they just added Blaze Your Dead Homie to that show too, so I'm gonna get to see Blaze and open up for him and meet him as well. So I'm excited. October 23rd, the Hellfire Tour is the last stop. Buffalo Stamps Bar at Tonawanda. And then my last show of the season before I retire for the winter is going to be in Erie, Pennsylvania at Basement Transmission. So there, I didn't miss any dates.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to come and speak with us today. We know you're very busy, and we always appreciate having you on our show.
Absolutely, anytime.
And we're going to go ahead and let you go so you can get back to the family and everything. And I really want to thank you for coming on and talking with me today.
Absolutely, not a problem. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure with you girls and hanging out with y'all and talking. So anytime you need me, I will do my best to be here.
Definitely, we will bring you back again. And at this time, I want to go ahead and play your song featuring Steve, Shadowville.
Rocket.
All right. Thank you, and have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Welcome to Shadowville. Oh my god, here we go again. The feeling is bad, forgiving your sin. Welcome to hell, so come on in. Now light up a second, let's begin. Maybe there's too many syllables in the words that I'm using for this. Maybe I don't even give a shit if you really can't even keep up with it. Blessed with the heart of a demon, I'm dreaming and feeding it. Maybe one day I could even get a piece of that flesh that I've been eating. Everything is going dark, I feel the steps and tear apart. Wonder when will I start separating from the stars. Shadows are mocking me, requesting the blasphemy, embracing the agony, blasting, attacking me. Wondering why I designed this disaster piece. Tragedy blackening, but it cannot be happening. The blood will be dripping and then I'll be sipping. I mention your name without being specific. I do what I want and I don't even mention. I wanted to warn you, but you wouldn't listen. Now all of your sins that cannot be forgiven. It's fucking repenting. It don't make a difference. I take it, but shut off from permanent residence. rotting in decadence, coming to die, living as evidence. I will smoke and watch you choke, tangle every word by a rope, hesitate, evaporate, dedicate and contemplate. Come this way, the darkness awaits. Lose yourself, it won't be a waste. Come watch your sins be erased. Meditate and concentrate. Look at the masterpiece I made it from tragedies. The tears of the Nazarene, blackened and maddening. Wondering why I destroyed all the memories. The shadows are making it hard to believe. Discovering pain, nothing is new to me, everything else irrelevant. Trickery all in my mind, I'm hearing the beckoning secret of lies. Murder me carefully, wouldn't want the reaper to come and visit and play the hand you made. All that effort gone to waste, watch her be anticipate. Consuming all you know, pull it back and watch it go. Lighting up, I smell the smoke, ammo made of chemicals, vaporizing every note, disappearing down below, putting out the only glow, yeah. Sending terror through your mind, leave your conscience paralyzed. Wonder where what I will find if I become immortalized. Reliving every single crime, getting away every single time. That's the murder for taking a knife. I am the outcast, my power is unmatched. And if you want to play, you'll disappear in the bypass. I can't even give less of a fuck. You wanna try your luck, then step on up.
Due to a family emergency, I'm going to go ahead and play a couple more songs off the Soul Snatchers list. I did an amazing interview with Mr. Madclock himself. We're actually going to be posting up his rap battle that he was talking about off his page onto the BTMX right after. This is your man DJ Shadow with the songs of the week that was chosen by the Soul Snatchers. We do apologize. We're going to play a couple more songs, but there was a family emergency, so thank you guys so much. The next artist they chose for you guys this week, they chose Mrs. M. Rose because they grew really attached to her song, Afterlife.
You want my soul,
Once again, everyone, this is Miss M. Rose with her song Afterlife.
Just for you, break myself into two. My afterlife, don't you know I'd go to hell and back just for you.
Just to let everyone know, the Soul Snatchers will be resuming the show for a full 2 hours next week. Their daughter officially has been stolen from them and is missing. So we'll definitely put out this. They have the police already on the ball. So they would definitely, thank you guys for all your love and support. We're going to go ahead and play a couple more songs. The next song they chose by another up-and-coming artist they have interviewed before is no other than Oz, the king of the rap, with his song, Dangerous.
Oh. D.
Run that up, Rico.
We dangerous, we dangerous. We dangerous. We dangerous, we dangerous, we dangerous, we dangerous.
Can't bang with us, can't bang with us. Why? We dangerous. Wanna get money, get change with us. Shooting for the stars, they name it us. Bang getting strong like Angel dust. Heat getting hot, they framing us. You can't hang with us, then hang it up. Yeah, we dangerous. You heard of us, beat murderers. They skirt of us and they curving us. And I'm serving up what y'all need. Just call me and I got it. You're falling to the bottom like Spalding. I'm ballin'. I'm doing good and I'm awesome. I'm a boss. You can get with it or get lost. Scott told me kill this shit.
Yo, Ozzy, kill that
I'ma
shit.
drill this shit. Yo, I'm the realest shit. I don't really think they can feel us yet, but they better catch up like a fuel and jet. Stepping on y'all like a few insects. Y'all shit suck, my shit fresh, my shit bomb. Watch me flex. Yeah. Nobody know what to do with me yet. Nobody know what to deal with the Z yet. I ain't even know, you ain't gotta ask me yet. Shit so cold, why it ain't freeze yet? I ain't playing with y'all like recess. Y'all some rejects, y'all make me stress. Man, I need to reset, give me my reset. Can't bang with us, can't bang with us. Why? We dangerous. Wanna get money, get change with us. Shooting for the stars, they name it us. Bang getting strong like Angel dust. Heat getting hot, they framing us. You can't hang with us, then hang it up. Yeah, we dangerous. You heard of us, beat murderers. They skirt of us and they curving us. And I'm serving up what y'all need. Just call me and I got it. You're falling to the bottom like Spalding. I'm ballin'. I'm doing good and I'm awesome. I'm a boss. You can get with it or get lost. I'm hard and I'm going far. Now so far it's legit. I raise the bar while I'm at the bar and they love the bars that I spit. I'm the shit. Check my fit. Matter of fact, check the weight of my zip. Bitch, I'm on point. I don't miss. If the rap game was my bitch, that bitch be attached to my dick. I'm so sick, I'm so lit. Yeah, I ride around, I get it. I don't ride around with no snitches. Just like I don't fuck with you bitches. I'm itching to catch you slipping. We're different, just like my vision. You're just getting by while I'm living. Can't bang with us, can't bang with us. Why? We dangerous. Wanna get money, get change with us. Shooting for the stars, they name it us. Bang getting strong like Angel dust. Heat getting hot, they framing us. You can't hang with us, then hang it up. Yeah, we dangerous. You heard of us, beat murderers. They skirt of us and they curving us. And I'm serving up what y'all need. Just call me and I got it. You're falling to the bottom like Spalding. I'm ballin'. I'm doing good and I'm awesome. I'm a boss. You can get with it or get lost. Yeah. We dangerous. Yeah, we dangerous. Yeah. OZ.
So once again, Soul Snatchers do apologize. They had a family emergency. Their daughter was stolen from them. So that was more important. You guys are all family, so I know you guys understand. she just, the good news is she has been found by the cops, is now just got safely home. So everybody worried. That's good to hear. Just got the news from them themselves. So the final song going to be carrying us off into their end of their show is no other than Silhouette Death with his song Home.
Wanting to go home even more than before. I'm waiting for the day to see you again. You'll be waiting with arms open wide and kiss me with lips of sweet release. You're my beautiful dark angel. Nothing can contend with that. I waited for you till the eternal night. My life is now complete with the 6 feet. Have I completed this journey with you and now you? As we said, we will love till death's end. No one will ever know this besides you and I. For now we hold hand in hand, death's kiss caresses our face. No longer the weight, no longer the pain. We embrace the darkness with everything. That our love was put on hold, no longer my walls. We are now complete and it's us against the world, just like it has always been.